Welcome to Coaching Uncut, a special series on the Unstoppable Woman podcast, where I take you behind the scenes and give you a peek into the private coaching I do with my clients. All of these coaching calls have been recorded with the permission from my clients who have generously allowed me to share these with you as a way of helping more people in this world. They give you access to master level coaching and the opportunity to learn the lessons that they're learning right along with them. Please keep in mind that these recordings are not studio productions and the audio quality may be less than ideal, but the content will take you far and help you become unstoppable. With that, listen in and learn.
So I was just sitting here right before you said, do you want to start like getting my data and putting it in there and 65K
Good to have friends
gross
like that,
receivables.
right?
Yeah, year to date, and I've got 2 more breakthrough calls scheduled. Another random dude. I don't know what it is with me and men, Amira. Some other guy also found me through and then saw one of my posts, and I was very proud of myself because he reached out whenever it was yesterday, through and just saying he's considering getting a career or, pursuing career development coaching or something like that. But, it was one of these, like, before we get on the phone, because I don't want to waste anyone's time, could I give him, am I taking clients and could I get him a range of my, prices? And so I wrote back, very pleasant. And I was like, well, right now the price is 0. Price range is 0 because we haven't connected yet. I need to know, need to understand more about the outcomes that you're looking for, how I can help you, if we would be a match to work together, blah, blah, blah. So I said it so much more elegantly than I'm repeating it to you now, but you get the gist. And then I was like, would love to connect. And if I can help you, then we'll talk about what that would look like. And if not, I can refer you to someone else. And, I see that as a very good use of both of our time. So I sent that, and then I'm like, the guy's probably going to be like, with the not answering the question on the pricing. And so, but I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, if he does, he does. I don't care. This is how I roll. Well, he's scheduled. I woke up this morning. He's scheduled for next week. So I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Great. And this is about how when you up level internally, it creates resonance with other people. They're like, oh, that's how it works. Okay. When you're in the doubt, the worry, whatever it is, then that's what they feel. Okay. So this is not new news to you, but you're experiencing how this is an up level for you.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here taking that in, and I'm like, you're gonna scream at me when I say this, but I'm like, exactly. And then what comes immediately is, and how do I stay in this energy, right? Because sometimes it feels like, it kind of comes and goes. But when it's there and I feel like, hey, this is how I roll, this is the deal, and I'm really not attached to the outcome. I mean, who knows what's going to happen when he and I speak, whatever. But I really was like, if he wants to schedule, he will. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. And I sort of, it's to say I don't care gives it sort of a harsher tone than I mean, but it's like, I'm good either way. And so it's such a great feeling. And but then, there are other times when I'll sit here and get myself all in a twist because why isn't someone responding? Or I feel like I'm in the chasing energy. So, I mean, I suppose to coach myself, it's just a question of anchoring in the feeling of the non-attachment and calling it like I see it and just recalling that feeling whenever and trying to shift myself by willpower into that feeling.
By willpower, we mean focus. Okay?
Okay.
Not.
And I take it, I was going to say, what's the not there?
Well, by making it hard, fighting yourself, grit, all of that. Willpower is often misunderstood as force versus power.
Yeah, totally.
And your perspective needs to be, I am just going to focus on being this, not, this is so hard, grit, 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 right? No, this is just who I am. I just need to bring my attention to that aspect of myself. I need to focus my energy. The energy that I already have, I need to focus it. Because you know this already, okay?
Right.
You've demonstrated it, you know it. So now it's about focus. It's about attention, that intention, clarity, presence.
I'm just starting with that. I'm sorry.
It's beingness, okay?
Yeah, no, I'm just haven't had enough coffee yet this morning, clearly. I'm just struck by the distinction that you're drawing out around willpower, because for sure, for me, and I probably for many, like the very phrase willpower has always connoted to me more of the like push through. It has its own feeling of forcing. So
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here reflecting on the distinction you're making. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Your will is your power to focus. Your will is your power to focus, to make choices and to focus. And willpower is, I mean, we could make the distinction that willpower is different than will. I've made that distinction before. However, I think what's better is just to throw out that push energy.
Yeah.
That force energy, and just be in the power of using your ability to focus.
I like that.
Okay. Okay. What's the big sigh for?
No, I'm just, no, it wasn't like it was more of a, I don't know, taking stock. Never seems to be amazed by the way things that we've talked about for a long time hit me in new ways, It's not the first time that there's been a conversation around will or willpower, but it's hitting me in a new way because, and it's important to me, number one, because I tend to, the willpower construct brings out me wanting to resist and fight, oddly. But, there's something about it that I don't know. It doesn't sustain me. But shifting to this stance of using my will as my power focus and to make choices, like where am I going to put my energy? What am I putting my attention on? It's all of the potentials are here. So why not just focus on the one that I really want? I mean, I catch myself in that so often, and we've talked about it before. It's like I noticed myself going to all these thoughts around, well, it's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to happen. And I'm kind of like, okay, wait, is that what I want? No. So what do I want? Well, I want to be nearest goal of 30,000 in, revenue per month. And that's going to be my reality and, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like I catch myself a lot. But I guess that's okay as long as I'm using my will and the power of my will to shift that.
So specifically, you catch yourself a lot doing what?
Thinking like my brain, without me intending it to, just starts going to fear, worry down in fear.
I understand now. Okay.
Right? Yeah. Particularly in the context here of, business outcomes.
Yeah. So this
right?
is exactly
like, this
correct.
is great, but it's a fluke. It's not going to stay. That, which is not useful.
Not useful at all.
Where
and
my
this
brain
is
goes.
exactly where you need to use your will. Power to choose.
Yeah.
Power to focus. Okay. And it's, everyone has will. It's like everyone has muscles. Some of our muscles are stronger than others. Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to build this muscle. And you will continue to need to.
I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You'll get fluent with it, and then you'll notice you will get mastery over your will. and then you will notice new places that you're not using it. It will be easier to transfer the skill to this new area. I can use my will over here.
If you want to master your business, you must master your mindset first. Our next Income Breakthrough Summit is designed to help you do just that. This November, in just 3 days, I am going to be giving you a roadmap of exactly what you need to do to dramatically increase your income and achieve the freedom that you desire without burnout. Podcast listeners, you can save big by visiting theunstoppablewoman.com/breakthrough to grab your super early bird ticket today and save $800. You better hurry while the offer is still available. Bye for now, and I'll see you at the summit.
I'm just curious, new area, like
You're mastering will right now over doubt, worry, and fear in your business.
right.
And then you'll start noticing doubt, worry, and fear in your relationship. And you're going to be like, oh, I need to use my will over here.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then you're going to be, you'll see yourself going into frustration about how much time and freedom you have. And that will feel like a totally different area. And then you'll be like, oh, wait a second. I need to use my will here to focus on what I want, not what I don't want. Yeah.
Got it.
Just apply it to something else. Okay.
Right. Right. I'm curious, in your experience as you've evolved, do you find, under the heading of sort of new level, new devil, like even when you've gotten your business, let's just talk about the business and generating revenue and reaching certain revenue goals and whatnot. And I imagine there was a time when you had doubt, worry, and fear about that. Do you find any of that coming back at higher levels even after you've achieved so much and proven to yourself that you can do it? Or do you find that doesn't show up as much in that realm of your business?
Really good question. Yeah, really good question. The answer is yes and no, both. So let me clarify.
Yeah.
I don't have doubt, worry, and fear. I just don't have that. What I do see is that I have some patterns that show up at every level. And it's an interesting exploration to see that. How do I say this? It's not specific to will, okay? So maybe this is not answering your question. I think with will, I'm pretty good. However, there are patterns that I have that when they were a pattern 10 years ago, they were really dysfunctional. Now that same pattern can either be dysfunctional or functional. Like your shadow is your light and your power, both. And so I will see similar patterns come up and be able to make a choice towards the functional versus dysfunctional way that they show up in faster and faster, periods. So what would take me, half a year to see takes me a day, right? Like that's the difference. But once I see something, I'm like, oh, that's that pattern. This is the functional version of it. This is the dysfunctional version of it.
Right.
The next level to me, I love that expression, new level, new devil, but sometimes it's new level, same devil. Okay. Like I feel like it's the pattern of new level.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I meant to say that actually. I think I misquoted that. I think it is new level, same devil. Yeah, exactly.
I've heard it said both ways,
Oh, really? One other thing, and again, we may have to pick it up next time, but apropos of this. So given where you're at in your own evolution, right? Acknowledging that we're always continuing to evolve and see more, all of that, but, you're well on your path and arguably significantly further on that path than a lot of the clients that you work with. Plus, sometimes it's harder for us to see our own stuff. My question for you is, I imagine that often as when you're in the role of coach, you see so much more. When I say more for the client, I in this context, I mean like you see the depth of how they're still in their story and they're not yet able to, use their will in the appropriate way. And clearly you're teaching people that, but does it ever, like, how do you, maybe it's not an issue, but how do you deal with like seeing so much, but then calibrating what you're getting them to focus on so that they don't feel like overwhelmed by it? I don't know if this is clear, but you know what I mean? You don't go in there.
This is a coaching question.
It's like it's a coaching question. It's like calibrating your level of awareness. I believe even when you bring it to someone else's issue, a client's issue, your level of awareness is much broader than theirs. But you've got to make a decision about like what you're illuminating for them or how, or do you not make a decision? You just call it as you see it and like wait for them to catch up over time.
Well, mostly the latter.
Yeah.
I don't talk down to my clients, right? I assume that, so this is about the law of vibration. I assume that if you're working with me, you want what I've got. Okay?
Yeah.
And that you want to come up to my level, and I have that stance. You have to, if you're going to work with me, come up to my level. I'm not going down to yours. Yours doesn't work, mine does, right? And, that's the stance. But I don't do that in an arrogant way. I don't do that in a make the other person be wrong or bad or lesser than. It's just, I'm coming to the coaching assuming you want to up level. So and that you want to do it as fast as humanly possible. In which case, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to talk down to you. I'm not going to be indirect, baby you. I'm going to be super direct with respect. There are times where I have to be jarring with people to get through, but fundamentally that's what they're paying me for. So I always work with people exactly where they're at right now. I'm not trying to solve a problem that's not in front of them right now. I am seeing, cause and effect. So if this is the problem if this is what they're doing now, it's going to cause this problem later on. So we need to deal with this, right? It's not a lack of forward thinking, but this is the issue that we have to deal with right now in the moment. And I trust myself. That's a big one, to know that. And that and to know that this is the thing that needs to change. Most people are resistant to, not you, but often people who haven't done coaching, or coaching with me, they want to stay in their story. So they want to talk about all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But that stuff is easy if you deal with the core issue. You got to trust me. This is where we need to focus. And that happens a lot. If you're ever working with someone and it feels like a shell game, it means you're answering. They're running you. Okay. They're moving the focus from thing to thing to thing, and it's not the thing you need to focus on. And the moment I realize that that's where I'm at with someone, I'm like, we're not having this conversation. We're going to talk about this. You
literally said that. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm not clear until because they're good questions, they're legitimate questions. You do need to deal with tactics. But once I realize that I'm in that, I'm not doing that. I'm going off on a tangent here, but the point being that I don't talk down to people. I don't try to do things in a specific, in my courses that, first you do this, then you do this, then you do this. But one-on-one coaching, whether it's in office hours or with you, I'm working with someone exactly where they're at.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. No, that's very clear. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome. Okay. Have an awesome day.
All right. I'll talk to you in a couple days. Bye.
I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this episode of Coaching Uncut. Let us know in the comments what you learned and how you can apply it to your own life and business. We absolutely love hearing from you. And we also love receiving your feedback. So thank you in advance for your likes and reviews. They really help us connect with more women who need this information to help them scale. So much appreciated for that and taking the time to do that. Now, if it's go time for you and you're ready to scale your life and your business, then I want to offer you up something. I want to offer you access to our Be Unstoppable Facebook group. We drop daily and weekly resources in this free group that show you exactly how to scale, what you need to be doing differently. So if you want access to that group and it's go time for you, go to theunstoppablewoman.com/Facebook group, and that will redirect you there. So theunstoppablewoman.com/Facebook group, no spaces, and start by getting your copy of the Scale Plan, which lives there, and it's totally free. So go do that now, and then tune in to the next episode and continue to be unstoppable.